So today we are going to look at types of vibhutis. In the last session, we talked about what are vibhutis and what's the purpose of knowing these vibhutis. So today we will be looking at what are the different types of these manifestations. And again, we'll go through a few more shlokas and we'll do group practice. So the first type of vibhuti is called as sajatiya, which is of same category. So those which give greatness to one entity over others of the same category, these are classified as sajatiya. Shankara, that is Shiva, is greater than other Rudras. So there are total 11 Rudras, but only Shankara is the manifestation of Lord because of the Vibhuti Rupa of the Lord called Shankara or Shiva. The god is Ganga among rivers. So there are so many rivers, but only Ganga is the manifestation of Lord, meaning he is present in the river in his Vibhuti form, making it greater than other rivers. So river or Rudras are of same category. But between so many rivers, only Ganga is the Vibhuti. Between 11 Rudras, only Shiva is the Vibhuti. So they are called as Sajatiya of same category. In these examples, we observe that the Vibhuti is Sajatiya, that is among the same categories as Rudras, months. In last session, we talked about different masas or months. So Margashirsha is the Vibhuti, rivers, etc. One is greater than the rest, respectively, because of that particular Vibhuti Rupa. So this is the first category or the first type. The second one is Vijatiya, that is different category. When one entity attains greatness over entities of a different category is called as Vijatiya Vibhuti. So what is the best example for this is Krishna's statement that he is Chandra or Shashi, you can say, among nakshatras. So though Chandra and stars are of different categories, correct? So there are different types of stars, different types of nakshatras. In these different categories, Chandra rules the night sky, clustered with stars because of the Lord's Vibhuti Rupa in him, which is also called as Shashi. So this can be the example of Vijatiya Vibhuti. Then the third one is another type of Vibhuti is that which renders a small limitation to the entity in which that Rupa is present with a limitation, but in addition to making it greater than others. He himself has got limitation, but still he is greater than others. The limitation is that the entity is not absolutely great even in its own category. So Arjuna among Pandavas, this is the example of this type of Vibhuti. Here it is to be understood that Arjuna is greater than other three Pandavas, but not greater than Bhima or Bhimasena. Samaved is greater than Vedas, but not greater than Rigveda because of its own limitations. Krishna says that among yajnas, he is Japa Yajna. It is to be taken with the exception of Jnana Yajna because Jnana Yajna is of greatest kind. But still he is saying Japa Yajna is my Vibhuti in spite of having certain limitations. So I don't know whether it has got particular name, but this is another kind or type of Vibhuti. And the last one is Pratyaksha Vibhutis. Vibhuti Rupas which are identical with the Lord himself. Means he might take an avatara or the incarnation. These are termed as Pratyaksha Vibhutis. All other Vibhutis like Sajatiya, Vijatiya, etc. Tirohita, as their greatness is indirectly manifested through the entities. So Chandra is not Shri Krishna himself, but it is his power, his manifestation. But in Pratyaksha Vibhutis, Krishna says that among those warriors holding weapons, he is Rama. So he is the Pratyaksha Vibhuti. Here, his statement is to be taken in the literal sense, that is, he is actually Rama himself. You can termed as Dasharathi Rama or the Parshurama. Both can be taken as his or he himself. And he as Rama is greater than all other men of the warrior class. Another example is also sage Vedavyasa or sage Kapila. They were Lord Shri Krishna or Lord Vishnu himself. That is the uh, avatara of Lord Krishna, Vedavyasa or sage Kapila, etc. So this comes under Pratyaksha Vibhutis. So are these types of Vibhutis clear?
Yeah, I follow that, KP.
Okay. All right. So actually, in the last session, we didn't start with Dhyana Shloka. We always start Bhagavad Gita shlokas with Dhyana Shloka. So today we'll do that. First, I will chant these Dhyana shlokas along with their meaning. Sarvopanishado gavo dugdha gopalanandanaha partho vatsasudhir bhokta dugdham gitamrutam mahat. Gita is not the philosophy of Krishna or Vyasa. It is the teaching that is contained in the Vedas, and hence it is called as Gitopanishad. It is the essence of Upanishads and Vedas. The Upanishad is the end portion of Vedas. Gita is the essence of Upanishad or Vedanta. Upanishads are compared here as cows, and Krishna is the expert cowherd. He milks the Upanishadic cow or extracts the essence of Upanishad. We always see in the stories of Shri Krishna that he, used to take cows in the forest. So what it is the representation that he himself is milking or milks the Upanishadic cow or extract that essence from the Upanishad and give it to us. If the cow needs to give the milk to the calf, that calf should be in proximity. Similarly, we should be in proximity of our Guru or the Shastras, scriptures. The Upanishadic cow to give the milk to Arjuna, who is symbolically the calf. Okay, so here Upanishads are the cow. Krishna is milking those cows, and Arjuna represents the calf who is taking the essence or the extract which is coming from this Upanishadic cow. The milk symbolizes the Gita. So the Amrita which is coming through that milk is Bhagavad Gita itself. So we as devotees are the consumers of the great nectar Gita. Very beautiful Dhyana Shloka. We'll chant this before Vibhuti Yoga. The second one. Vasudevasutam Devam Kausachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Now in this Dhyana Shloka, the greatness of the Lord is described in three different aspects. Who was Shri Krishna? A member of a family, the son of Vasudeva, and a great source of joy to Devaki Mata. A member of the society, Krishna destroyed the Asuras, who were a threat to the society of that time, like Kamsa and Chanura. A teacher to the world, he taught the Gita to Arjuna, and through him, he taught the knowledge to the world, to the posterity. Though it is an age-old teaching, it is still relevant in the modern times, and hence we call him as Jagat Guru. So I offer my salutations, namaskara to Lord Krishna, who is a Jagat Guru. So this is the meaning. All right. Now we'll start with Vibhuti Yoga Shlokas. Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Adidevamajam Vibhum Swayamevatmanatmanam Vethatvam Purushottama Bhutabhavan Bhutesha Deva Deva Jagatpate. So what Arjuna is saying is all the adjectives and different names of that Parabrahman. So we'll look at them one by one. These are the 8 adjectives, and by 5 names he is referring to Lord Krishna. The first one is Param Brahma. So how is that Tattva or that Paramatman or that truth is Supreme Divine Personality. Lord Krishna is Supreme Divine Personality. Param Dhama, he is the Supreme Abode. Param Pavitram, Supreme Purifier. Shashwatam Purusham, Eternal God. Adi Devam, Primal Being. Ajam, he is unborn, and hence he is eternal. Paramam Bhavan, he is the greatest. Vibhum, all pervading. Then he is calling him by these 5 names. Bhuta Bhavan, he is the universal father in form of Lord Surya. Bhutesha, he is the Lord of all beings in form of Lord Shiva. Jagatpate, he is the master of universe in form of Lord Ganesha. Deva Deva, he is God of gods in form of Adi Shakti. And he is Purushottama, he is the complete here in form of Lord Vishnu. Very beautiful shlokas where the description and various names given to that Paramatman. So because I have taken these 2 shlokas together, it is 10.12 and 10.15. Now shloka number 8, again here I am taking 2 shlokas together, 13 and 14. We'll look at them. Ahustvam rushayas sarve devarshi naradastatha asito devalo vyasaha swayam chaiva bravishi me sarvametadrutam manye yanmam vadasi keshava nahi te bhagavan vyaktim vidurdevana danavaha. Now what Arjuna is saying, great sages like Narada, Asita, Devala and Vedavyasa, what they are saying, what they are proclaiming this, and now you yourself is declaring it to me that you are this Supreme Personality. You are Purushottama. You are Aja, eternal, Shashwata Purusham. So right till now, because from chapter 7, 8 and 9, Krishna himself is telling Arjuna that I am this, I am that, and even all the great rishis are proclaiming that he is Parabrahma, he is Paramadhama. Till this point, Arjuna is hearing But because he is an honest sadhaka, he is having total, shraddha, faith in what the authoritative people are talking about. Oh Krishna, I totally accept everything you have told me as the truth. Because sadhakas like us will always doubt. Even he is a supreme personality will doubt. Are you really? But Arjuna is saying, no, I have a total trust. Oh Lord, neither gods nor the demons can understand your true personality. Who am I to know your true personality? So please, you yourself explain me who you are. Hmm? Arjuna is convinced entirely about the supreme position of Sri Krishna. Because in Mahabharata, you can see there are different personalities who used to always curse Sri Krishna, like Duryodhana or Shishupala. What happened to them? You should be knowing these stories. So, though he himself did not experience what Sri Krishna is, but heard from great authorities. When great authorities testify knowledge, its credibility gets established. So it is called as Shabda Pramana, the order or the authority our scriptures give us, Vedas, Upanishads, different seers, rishis, and Sri Krishna himself is telling in Bhagavad Gita. So we have to accept that Shabda Pramana. There are, three ways of getting the knowledge. The first one is Pratyaksha. Can you see God with your eyes? No. And hence, some people believe and some people not. I don't believe there is God. Some people say like that. So through eyes, you can get a very limited knowledge because your eyes itself is a limited tool. Then Anumana, inference. Because there is smoke, I infer there is fire. I am not seeing directly fire with my eyes, but because of the smoke far distant, I can infer that there is a fire there. This is uh, Anumana. And then Agama, the third means of knowledge is Agama, that is Shastras, that is the authoritative people who are telling you. You just accept it because they are the Apta Vachana. So here what Arjuna is doing, he's completely accepting, trusting what the authorities are saying. The great saints are the authorities for spiritual knowledge. Thus, Arjuna quotes the saints such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, who have proclaimed Sri Krishna as the supreme divine personality, and he is the cause of all causes. He is not, asking any question or not having any single doubt. So Devatas, Danavas, and Manavas have finite abilities to understand infinite God. How is God? What's the nature of God? He is infinite. But we are limited beings, even if Devatas, Danavas, and Manavas, we all have finite abilities. So it is very, very difficult to understand this infinite principle. So what you need to do, sadhana? It is through tapas and vairagya, your heart gets purified because there is a lot of impurities at physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual level. We need to remove all these impurities first. But one needs whatever efforts you are doing. Yes, they are required along with the Buddhi Yoga. God will see, okay, that person is taking a lot of efforts. Why? Only to understand me. Let me give him my power, God's grace, Buddhi Yoga to realize God. and Arjuna wishes to know more about Krishna. Only if you have that burning desire within, only if you have that, uh, you know, that wish from bottom of your heart that yes, I want to know God. And here Arjuna is very much having that burning desire, that quest within, that Arjuna, who you are, Shri Krishna, because right till now I was considering you as my friend, but now I'm coming to know you are something much more than that. Please tell me who you are. And Shri Krishna knows, he is supreme personality. He knows who is honest, who is not. He knows Arjuna is very with a pure heart. Without any doubts, he wants to know me. And now Shri Krishna is ready to tell all his vibhutis. So before that, again, we'll look into two more shlokas. Arjuna is again saying to Shri Krishna, Vaktumarhasya sheshena दिव्याह्यात्म विभूतयः याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोकान् इमांस्त्वं वाप्य तिष्ठसि कथं विद्यामहं योगिम् त्वां सदा परिचिन्तयन् केषु केषु च भावेषु चिन्त्योऽसि भगवन्मया. What Arjuna is saying, please, I'm requesting you, my friend, my philosopher, my guru, describe to me your divine opulence. Now I just can't wait to see your rupa, your true presence by which you pervade all the worlds, all the lokas, and reside in them. O Supreme Master of Yoga, how may I know you and think of you? And while meditating, in what forms can I think of you? O Supreme Divine Personality. Here, yoga refers to Yoga Maya, God's divine power, and yogi refers to master of Yoga Maya. So, Shri Krishna himself is a yogi, and Yoga Maya, that is, he is having his divine power in all the worlds, not only in Bhuloka, but Bhuvar, Swaha, Janas, Tapas, everywhere. He is all pervading all the lokas. Now Arjuna can't wait to see that and to know that, because if I want to remember you, if I want to see you, it's like, if someone asks you, hello, how are you? Where do you stay? And if you will say, okay, I stay in England. But then that person will not come to know where exactly in England. So you will say, okay, I stay in Solihull. And then you give your address, so that if that person wants to come to you, he know your exact address and he can remember that, he can follow that, and he can come to you, your house. Similarly, Arjuna now wants that specific things, that Arjuna, Shri Krishna, if I want to see you, if I want to remember you, if I want to think about you, if I want to contemplate on you, where should I look at? I am totally confused. I have no idea. Please tell me, describe me about your divine presence. And because of this urge, now Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna is saying, Shri Bhagavanuvacha Hantate kathayishyami दिव्याह्यात्मविभूतयः Pradhanyatah kuru shreshtha nastyanto vistarasya me. What Sri Krishna is saying, the blessed Lord is saying, I shall now briefly describe my divine glories to you. O best of the Kurus, Kuru Shreshtha, for there is no end to their detail. They are infinite. As we are saying again and again, the nature of God is infinite. He cannot just keep on, covering all his manifestations. Where he is present everywhere. The list will go on and on and on and on. There is no end to it. So Shri Krishna is saying, I will tell you only the important ones. Okay? Let's see the first manifestation of Shri Krishna. What Shri Krishna is saying. Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashayasthitah Ahamadishcha Madhyancha Bhutanamanta evacha. O Arjuna, I am seated in the heart of all living entities. I am the beginning, middle, and end of all beings. This is the first manifestation. Where is God? It is just there within you, each one of us. And which is the place? In the Hridaya. Not the physical heart, which is pumping blood, but the center of your chest. That point is called as Hridaya in spiritual language. So, Shri Krishna is there. And he's also saying he is beginning, Madhya, and end. Adi, Madhya, and Anta. The Vedas state, Ya Atmani Tishthanti. God is seated within our soul. Seated inside, he grants the power of consciousness and eternality to the soul. And hence, soul never dies. Soul is eternal. Your body dies. Your gross body dies. Your sthula sharira dies. Sukshma sharira, karana sharira, they never dies. They carry forward along with your soul. And then that takes up another body according to your karmas. Because God resides within the soul, soul becomes eternal. It gives you Chaitanya, the power of consciousness. Amongst the various definitions of God given by the Vedas, one of them, it comes in Taittiriya Upanishad, especially in the Bhruguvalli, which I teach in my Vedic chanting, level 2. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayantyabhisamvishanti. What Sage Bhrigu is realizing out of his deep meditation, God is He from whom all living beings are emanated. They are born. That is the Adi. God is He within whom all living beings are situated or sustained. And God is He into whom all living beings shall unite, shall dissolve. So these are the proofs from different Vedas and Upanishads. They also proclaim the same thing, because Gita itself is the essence of Vedas. Okay, so first of all, what you will remember or contemplate, where is God? You don't have to travel much. You don't have to go to any Tirtha Kshetra or any part of the world in search of God. It is seated within you. Always remember that. And in the next shloka, he is saying, what are my other places of manifestation? Adityanamaham Vishnuhu Jyotisham Raviransuman Marichirmarutamasmi Nakshatra Shashi. Amongst the 12 sons of Aditi, I am Vishnu. Amongst luminous objects, I am the sun. Know me to be Marichi amongst the Marutas, and the moon amongst the stars in the night sky. We'll look at them one by one. In Puranas, there comes a story. We learn that sage Kashyapa has two wives, Aditi and Diti. Now, from his first wife, that is Aditi, he fathered 12 celestial personalities. So they are the 12 sons of Aditi and sage Kashyapa. That is Dhata, Mitra, Aryama, Shukra, Varuna, Amsha, Bhaga, Vivaswan, Pusha, Savita, Twashta, and Vamana. This Vamana is Vishnu. One of the incarnation of Lord Vishnu is Vaman Avatar. It is also called as Angushtamatra Purusha. And that Angushtamatra Purusha resides at the center of your chest, that is the Hridaya. So that Vamana, that Lord Vishnu is myself. Then the second Vibhuti is, at night, all the lamps with all the stars and the moon together are insufficient in removing the darkness of the night, isn't it? But the moment the sun rises, the night gets dispelled. And that is the power of the sun. No one can dispel the darkness of night. And hence, sun is my manifestation. That's what Sri Krishna is saying. The Puranas further relate that sage Kashyapa, as we have seen, he has got 2 wives, fathered Daityas, that is demons, from his second wife Diti. To name the few are Avaha, Pravaha, Nivaha, Purvaha, Udvaha, Samavaha, and Parivaha, which is also called as Marichi. That story goes like this. Diti wanted a son who is more powerful than Indra. And what Indra did with his weapon, he cut the fetus into many pieces and they become 49 in number. So Maruta, among the Marutas, he is Marichi. So there are 49 Marutas. We are only aware of 10 Marutas, that is Pancha Prana, the 5 main, Vyana, Apana, Samana, they are. And other 5 more are there. But no, in total, in order to control the whole Brahmanda, the whole universe, these 49 Marutas are working continuously. So out of these 49 Marutas, Parivaha or Marichi is my manifestation. That's what Lord Krishna is saying. And the last one, Shri Krishna says that amongst all the constellations, nakshatras and stars in the night sky, at the night time, he is the moon, Shashi, because it best reveals his opulence. The moon reflects the sun's light in the best way. and hence at night sky, moon is my manifestation. Nakshatra aham shashi. So you remember that among the 12 sons of Aditi, I am Vishnu. Among luminous objects, I am sun. Among Vayus or Marutas, I am Marichi. And in the night sky, among the nakshatras, I am Shashi. These are the manifestations of Lord Krishna. Okay? All right. So do you have any questions, whatever we have seen so far? Otherwise, we can start with chanting.
Yes, we will chant.
Okay. We'll start with Dhyana Shlokas. So repeat after me. Sarvopanishado gavo
Sarvo Upnishado Gavo
Dogdha Gopalanandanaha
Dogdha
Palagnandana
Partho Vatsasudhir Bhokta
Partho
Dugdham Geetamrutam Mahat
Dugdham Geetamritam Mahat
Vasudevasutam Devam
Vasudevasutam Devam
Kausachanuramardanam
Chaturmardanam
Devaki Paramanandam
Devaki Paramanandam
Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum
Krishnam
Vande Jagadguru
Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna
Uvacha
Param Brahma Param Dhama
Param Brahma
Param Kama
Pavitram Paramam Bhavan
Pavitram Paramam Bhavan
Purusham Shashvatam Divyam
Purusham
Shashvatam Divyam
Adidevamajam Vibhum
Devamajam Vidhum
Swayamevatmanatmanam
Swayam Evatmanatmanam
Vethatvam Purushottama
Vedhatvam Purushottama
Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha
Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha
Deva Deva Jagatpate
Deva Jagatpate
Ahus Pamrushayah Sarve
Ahustvamrushaya Sarve
Devarshir Naradastatha
Devarshi Naradastatha
Asito Devalo Vyasaha
असितो
देवतो व्यासः
स्वयं चैव ब्रवीषि मे
स्वयं
स्वयं चैव ब्रवीषि मे
सर्वमेतद्रुतं मन्ये
सर्वं एतद्धृतं मन्ये
यन्मां वदसि केशव
यन्मां वदसि केशव
न हि ते भगवन् व्यक्तिम्
न हि ते
भगवान् व्यक्तिम्
विदुर्देवान दानवाः
विदुरदेवानदानवाः
वक्तुमर्हस्य शेषेण
वक्तुमर्हस्य शेषेण
दिव्याह्यात्मविभूतयः
दिव्याह्यात्मविभूतयः.
We'll split this word, the next one. Yabhirvibhuti
याभिर्विभूति
Bhirlokani
लोकानि
Imamstvam
इमां स्वां
त्वां
Vyapya Tishtasi.
व्याप्यतिष्ठसि.
Repeat that line with the full phrase. Yabhirvibhutibhirlokan
विभूतिभिर्लोका
Okay, again I will repeat the whole line. Yabhirvibhutibhirlokan imamstvam vapyatisthasi.
इमां स्वां व्याप्यतिष्ठसि.
Katham vidyamaham yogin
कथं विद्यामहं योगिन्
त्वां सदा परिचिन्तयन्
त्वां सदा परिचिन्तयामि.
केषु केषु च भावेषु
केषु
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 भावेषु
चिन्त्योऽस्मि भगवन्मया
चिन्त्योऽसि भगवान् मया.
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
हन्त ते कथयिष्यामि
हन्तते कथयिष्यामि
दिव्याह्यात्मविभूतयः
दिव्यात्मविभूतयः
प्राधान्यतः कुरु श्रेष्ठ
यथा कुरुश्रेष्ठः
नास्त्यन्तो विस्तरस्य मे
नास्यांतो विसरास्य मे
अहमात्मा गुडाकेश
आत्मा गुडाकेश
सर्वभूताशयस्थितः
सर्वभूताशया स्थितः
अहमादिश्च मध्यं च
अहमादिश्च मध्यं च
भूतानामन्त एव च
भूतानामन्त एव च
आदित्यानामहं विष्णुः
आदित्यानामहं विष्णुः
ज्योतिषां रविरंशुमान्
ज्योतिषां रविरंशुमान्
मरीचिर्मरुतामस्मि
मरीचिर्मरुतामस्मि
नक्षत्राणामहं शशि
नक्षत्राणामहं शशि.
Very good. So, do you feel any of these shlokas are difficult to chant? Any shlokas you want repetition?
Ninth one.
Ninth one. Okay. वक्तुमर्हस्य शेषेण दिव्याह्यात्मविभूतयः याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोकान् Very good. इमां त्वं वाप्य तिष्ठसि We'll repeat this line. याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोकान् इमां त्वं वाप्य तिष्ठसि कथं विद्यामहं योगिन् त्वां सदा परिचिन्तयन् केषु केषु च भावेषु चिन्त्योऽसि भगवन्मया Very good. Yeah. Any other shlokas? Okay. All right then. Do you have any questions, whatever we have discussed so far? Okay. So, yes, Wendy, you want to
Just to
say?
say, yes, just to say that we will get more out of it when we hear again the recording, the vibhutis,
Yes.
yeah. But
Yes.
the tune for the verses this morning were fairly straightforward. Thankfully,
Yeah.
there weren't very stylish ones today. So we look forward to practicing that in the weeks to come.
Okay.
Thank you.
Please share it on the group so I can also listen to you chanting these shlokas.
All right.
All right. So thank you for joining the session.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. We'll see you now on next Saturday of November. That is 13th of November.
Okay.
And we'll continue with Vibhuti Yoga itself. We'll see again more
Different
manifestations. Yeah, different Vibhutis. So keep chanting all the shlokas what we have covered so far from Vibhuti Yoga. That's how you can connect with divinity. That's how you can remember the supreme divine personality, and that divinity can manifest from you if you start getting, purer and purer with
Yes, sure.
days
Yeah.
to come. Yeah. And I wish you all happy Navratri.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
festival, and we'll see you in the next month. Take
Thank you,
care, all of you.
KP.
Be
Thank you,
safe.
KP. Thank you,
Thank you.
ladies. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wendy, see you soon.
See you any soon.